right, welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Hey, it's been a little bit. It's a long weekend. Had my kids this past weekend from Friday till Monday. So I apologize for this being a little late. It was a long weekend. I didn't watch any wrestling all weekend, and there was like just a crap ton of it. There was SummerSlam, but I wasn't interested in that. Well, I was curious, but I didn't watch it. NXT, I heard, rocked. Might watch that eventually. Impact had their event on Sunday as well. Sunday afternoon. That was the Twitch event. I got to catch up on that. I'll be doing a review for that next. Man. What else? I think that's about it. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, long weekend. A fun weekend, though. I got to spend some extra time with the kids. Always appreciate that. And then realized that in trying to plan the all-in weekend, which is coming up in 2 weeks, I completely misplanned it and then realized that I have my son in 2 weeks. So, guess who's taking his son to his first indie thing at All In? J-Bone. J-Bone is taking his son to All In. So, I'm actually really excited about that. Styles is in the chat. Woo! Good evening to you, sir. How are you? So yeah, catching up on a lot of stuff. It's already Tuesday, Monday. Wow, week's just flying. Agents in the chat, nice, man. Yeah, excited for that. So yeah, catching up on MLW. You know, the more I watch this, the more I like it. And I know I've said this before, but for those who haven't watched me review this before, because I haven't done a lot of these, I think I did one or two others, whatever it's been. I compare this to kind of like Lucha Underground with all the sci-fi stuff, with all the stuff with tribes and gods and temples and stuff. It's just more intimate, and the crowd is usually really good, and the wrestling is awesome. And it's got a lot of guys that I like in several different shows. So it's got a little mix of everything. It's got a little bit of lucha. It's got a little bit of impact. It's got a little bit of this and that. It's just great. Plus, it's got guys that are brand new. Well, not brand new, but very new to the scene. So they're getting a shot at being on television. How awesome is that? And you also got the classic stylings of Tony Schiavone. Can't beat that. We had Matt. I think they change it up depending on what location they tape in. This one had Tony Schiavone and Matt Stryker. That's a great combo. And that's not knocking Vampiro. But this was pretty good. I liked it. But before we dive head first into this, remember, folks, if you're new to the channel, there's plenty more of this where it came from. Go check out in your free time. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. Whew. So this is MLW Fusion episode 18. Yes, I still have some catching up to do. I'm not going to review them all, but I'm going to watch them eventually. Do a couple here and there. Just so I know the past history of how we got here. What I definitely want to watch more is, not to sound like a creepy old guy, but I want to see the history of Selena De La Renta's group. What's it called? Black? I can't think of what it's called. Black Friday something? I forget. Is it like that Carney promotion, like the one Sin Bodie runs. No, this is, and I'm not real familiar with that. I know he runs one, but no, this is just more. It's kind of like how Impact is now. It's just more of an intimate setting, you know. It's like done in a club, but there's like a decent amount of people in there, so it's not like, you know, 2 rows of people on each side of the ring where it's like, you know, 50 people total in the crowd, not even. No, there's a decent amount of people in here. There's people in the balconies. Part of this, I believe, was taped at where Bound for Glory, I believe, is going to be taped up in New York. Same place, as far as I could tell. So if you want to know what Bound for Glory is going to kind of look like, go check out this episode. And some of it's done in Florida too. I think they did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, as far as different locations. But that didn't hurt it. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so there you go, AJ. So we get the introduction in the ring of, at least kind of, well, I think it's their introduction. Pretty sure it is. We get the new Heart Foundation, which I'm pretty excited for, because there is a lot of stuff like for like classic Heart Foundation stuff. I mean, I grew up with the Heart Foundation. I grew up with Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Knight Hart. By the way, the episode starts out with a little just picture tribute to Jim the Anvil Knight Hart, which is very nice. So pretty much every show I watch has done some kind of tribute, you know, whether it's Impact or this or whatever. It's nice. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of Heart Foundation stuff from the past that I didn't watch, like stuff like mid to late 90s stuff, like pre and just getting into the Attitude Era stuff before most of the Hearts left and went to WCW, and then that all was like a big fail, kind of. I didn't catch that, you know, in the height of Brian Pillman, you know, run with the crew and all that kind of stuff. I didn't watch that, but I've seen pictures and I've seen little footage here and there. So seeing a new version of this with Brian Pillman Jr., who just, I don't know if I said this last time or if I heard about it in between then and now. I read in one of the recent, what do you call them? Emails that they signed Brian Pillman Jr. to a contract. And that's one thing I know that MLW is trying to do. They're trying to sign these guys because they have a TV deal, and that'll help, you know, that'll help it grow. You got guys on there that people want to see on a regular basis. That's not a bad thing. That's great. You know, and Impact Wrestling is doing the same thing. They're trying to lock people into contracts. You know, it's, these companies are in a different position now than they were before, when, you know, they had money problems and all that kind of stuff, and the negativity, and people still loom over that, but it's different now. Look, there's so many different shows for wrestling now. Ring Warriors is going to be starting another one soon. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that. I just started following them recently. And they're going to be on, is it WGN? I think it's WGN out of Chi-Town. So yeah, so we got Teddy Hart. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Teddy Hart, Davey Boy Smith Jr. with Brian Pillman Jr. at ringside. So this is a great group. It's also interesting to see Davey Boy Smith Jr. here on TV on a show, because you know, he's with New Japan. I don't know if he's still with New Japan. I'm not sure of his contract situation. The fact that he's appearing on TV somewhere else, I'm not sure. You know, I haven't heard. So, but it's great. You know, this is one guy that when he got, and I know there were attitude problems and whatever between this opinion and that opinion or whatever happened. I really don't know why WWE let him go. But when they did, I was upset because I loved watching Davey Boy Smith Jr. go, and he's just been kicking ass everywhere now. Styles Gaming in the chat says the other day I saw Bret Hart versus Neidhart. Their early promotion days was nuts. Oh, that must have been a treat. Like early Stu Hart days, hey? That must have been nuts. Yeah, those two went way back. I can't imagine how Bret the Hitman Hart feels right now. I mean, his whole family is gone, and it's like, you know, that classic picture where he's the only one left. It's so sad. So sad. So the keeps straying away. Bear with me, folks. We got the New Heart Foundation versus ACH and Rich Swann. Very interesting combo. And what's funny is ACH had pink going to the ring, or was wearing pink going to the ring, and Rich Swann had somebody's, what is it, Teddy Hart's shades that he took from him from a backstage segment or something like that. It was funny. So, you know, they came out looking like they were mocking him. Oh, and they came out in the middle of the Canadian anthem. Just Matt Stryker was like, that's just rude. How can you do that? So it was interesting to hear Matt Stryker kind of doing play-by-play, but also being kind of a heel color guy. A little different than how he is on Lucha Underground. So that was kind of interesting. Great match between these two teams. Nothing sticks out in my mind. I mean, there was just a great variety of wrestling. Brian Pillman Jr. looked to be sporting a knee brace similar to how Stone Cold used to wear, and he came down with a cane. Looked like he was banged up. I don't know if it's legit or not. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So, but he played more of a manager type here. So I'm hoping he's not injured. I can't wait to actually see him wrestle for the first time. I've not seen him wrestle yet. I've just been hearing all these little things about him and that he just recently signed. I think they let him go because of a drug test failure. It could be. I'd have to, I don't know, look it up on Wikipedia or something. I don't know. Or maybe WWE.com would have it. I don't know. Whatever. What's that? Just Twitter him and ask him? No, that's how you get blocked. No. Why do I keep you around? Why? I don't know. And this is the same guy that hands me a memo last night and informs me that Thursday night Kevin Cross is going to be here for an interview. Thank you. The guy, that dude scares the shit out of me. So yeah, folks, if you didn't know, Kevin Cross is going to be here Thursday night following Impact Wrestling. Anyways, back to the show. We get the introduction of the War Games matches. Some stuff are put online. This has been kind of growing by the week now. Like I said, I got to really watch some of the back history to some of this stuff, how they all got together and everything. Countdown to Doomsday. You're so mean. This guy's not funny. Killing me, agent. So War Games is coming to MLW. I don't know if they're going to do the whole thing on like a 2-hour special, kind of like how they did the whole 40-man Battle Riot thing, or if they're going to split stuff up into episodes. I don't know. But it's all supposed to be like one big event that people are, going to, and they're going to do tapings for. So the big thing, of course, is the War Games match, the 2-ring cage match, 2 teams of 5, and this has been growing. Now we have the complete teams. We've got Shane Strickland's team versus Callahan's team. And it's basically because I know that Callahan cost Shane Strickland the championship. So that's why those two are, knocking heads now. So Shane Strickland's side, we got Shane Strickland and Cotto Brazil, someone new. I just saw him wrestle for the first time last week against Callahan. Really great wrestler. Barrington Hughes, that boy is big boy. It's going to be interesting to see him fly around 2 rings. That's, oh my God, crazy. Johnny, not Mundo. Oh, Johnny what are we calling him on this show? Johnny Fusion. I could have come up with that. Oh, yeah, you came up with a... Yay. Anyways, Johnny Fusion and Tommy Dreamer. So you got some new up-and-comers. You got some classic hardcore coming in here. Great mix of guys. Versus Callahan's team. You got Callahan. Now, like I said, this is an interesting show because does this cage have a roof this time? I'm not sure. I think the classic one did. If you go to their YouTube channel, they've got a classic MLW War Games thing from like 10 years ago, I think. And it's like a half an hour long. And I don't even know the teams. I was going to watch it like, sometime later this week. I think I put it on my watch later list. Andre Corbeil is in the chat. Good evening to you, sir. By the way, if you don't catch all of this live, this will be up later on WrestlingWithWrestling.com. Home of all sorts of awesome stuff. Wrestling. Podcast like this. I also do Lucha Underground. If you're new to the channel and you didn't know. House of Hardcore. There's WWE reviews, news, indie stuff, Impact Wrestling, all sorts of stuff. And in international stuff too. So go check out WrestlingWithWrestling.com. Not now, later. Like when I'm done, you can go check out. Just don't go now, okay? Andre would be like, no, go now. Jerky. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Andre. All right. So, like I said, it's different. We're so used to seeing OVE everywhere with Sami Callihan. This is different. The Christ brothers are not on here. You got Fulton, who used to be in NXT. You got Leon White, who's another new guy who I'm not familiar with. Jimmy Havoc. Yes, Jimmy effing Havoc is part of this team. Crazy. Also, Abyss. Very interesting. Abyss is part of this group. Yes, Impact Wrestling / Classic TNA, going all the way back in the day. That Abyss is the 5th man for this team. Yeah, go later. I believe the link is in the description. Quote me on that, but I think it is. So yeah, two well-rounded teams. You got, a lot of hardcore, badass, up-and-comers, classic hardcore in there, everything. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, because it's a lot of guys that I'm new to, but some classics in there as well. So why not? Then we've also got PCO. Man, if you haven't seen PCO lately, oh my goodness. That dude is 50 years old. He's all over the indies. He's absolutely killing it. Doing some crazy videos on his YouTube channel. fighting all sorts of crazy matches and shocking himself and just all these insane stunts, getting all this attention. So he's going to be part of this too. He's going up against Brody King. Brody King's another new face that I'm not familiar with. Saw him a couple weeks ago, I believe it was. Someone I'm getting used to seeing on here. Phoenix versus Low Key for the MLW Championship. That's going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait for that one. LA Park is coming to MLW. Very interesting because he's been floating back and forth between CMLL and AAA. I don't know all the news down there. I just know that there's a lot more free agency going on, especially with guys like Pentagon and Phoenix floating around all over the place. They're getting signed to dates, but they're not under contract. It's all date by date stuff. So they got the freedom to go pretty much anywhere, with the exception of like WWE. PCO is awesome. Yeah, I'm impressed with him. I mean, he's nuts. When I grew up, I want to be like him. Oh, oh my goodness. And yes, if you're wondering why I'm drinking water tonight, I had a little bit of heartburn. So no, I'm not drinking beer tonight. For anybody who's always wondering, why is he not cracking the beer always at the start of the show? It's not really a thing, but it's a thing now. It's that 50-year-old guy, the one who had a cinder block on his chest doing crazy things. Yeah, I think that's one of the things he was doing. Yeah, I mean he's got his own YouTube channel. You can go look it up. Pierre, it's a French name. I can't think of his full name, but anyways, everyone calls him PCO. Hello, Pierre. Abyss still wrestles. Yes, Abyss still wrestles. Not so much on Impact Television anymore. He's more of he's more behind the scenes now, as far as I've heard. But considering everything insane that he's been doing to his body for years, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, folks. So yeah, the fact that he's part of this is very interesting. I mean, the guy can still go, so he's just not doing as much as he used to. Like I said, I don't blame him. What else we got here? Okay. Davey Boy Smith is going up against ACH. Very cool. Did I even say who won the first match? I don't think I did. The Hart Foundation won. It was a great match. This guy has no clue what he's doing. No, I don't. I'm just having a night, so just bear with me, folks. Then we get something really different that I have not seen before. I mean, if you watch MMA on a regular basis, then you're used to this. I don't. Of course, I know MMA happens in a cage, but a regular wrestling match does not usually happen in a cage. But we get one tonight, folks. We get Filthy Tom Lawler, who is quickly becoming how do I say this? He's becoming a staple for this brand, big time. He won the 40-man Battle Riot a few weeks ago. Very impressive. I mean, he eliminated a lot of guys, a lot of legends who really didn't have a chance going into this, but nonetheless, he still did. So yeah, just another new face who looks like a badass, who's an MMA guy entering the wrestling world. Excuse me. And he was supposed to go up against Jake Hagar, a.k.a. Jack Swagger, if you're not familiar with that. That's his real name. But that changed last second, literally, and they brought in someone new. At least I think he's new. He might have been on here before. I just haven't seen it. Like I said, I've only reviewed a few of these. Paro. And Paro has been, they called him Mike something. I think that was his real name. I didn't catch his full name. But Paro has been a part of Evolve Wrestling. He also, was it F? No. Was it FIP? It was one of those lesser one knowns that's part of the WWN network. Oh, I think it was it ACW? I can't remember. It was one of those. But nonetheless, Paro wrestled him, and so it was just interesting. You know, I don't think I was as invested in this match, but it was just something different. So they had like a real MMA style, I guess, MMA rules, a little bit of wrestling. And it was interesting because at one point, Tom used the structure above him, grabbed it, and did something with his legs with Paro, kind of a submission thing, or throw him or something. It was kind of weird, but it was, you know, you're not going to see that in UFC, you know, they don't. Just funny. So, what is Swaker's last name a character from Mortal Kombat? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, so I don't know. But a very interesting match. Tom makes him tap out. A good match, though, you know, interesting. And then at the end, a bunch of Jake Hager and Paro's goons, part of this called the Stud Stable, I believe, attacked Tom Lawler's trainer and left him laying there. So, yeah, things are getting personal now. And apparently next week, we're going to get a tag team that's associated with the Stud Stable. I believe it's the Dirty Blondes. We're going to get the Dirty Blondes versus two other guys. Simon, what's his name? Simon Grimm, I believe his name is, and Fred Yehai are two cohorts in the filthy, I don't know what he calls his stable. Tom Lawler stable. No, that's not what it's called. The Tom Lawler stable. No, that'd be lame as hell. Team Filthy or something they call it. Whatever. So that's what we're getting next week to, like, you know, further the feud. It's interesting. Eventually, I'm sure we're going to get Tom Lawler versus Jake Hagar, which will be crazy because they both have that natural wrestling instinct, like the classic wrestling. So, what then? Then we get the MLW Championship match. Low Key versus a very banged up Johnny Fusion. And Selena De La Renta was at Low Key's side, or, you know, accompanying him to the ring as his client for, what is it? Black Friday Entertainment? I gotta look it up. Black Friday Incorporated, whatever it's called. Good match, but not a typical match that you would see Johnny put on, because he was banged up. He was all taped up across the middle. Probably the worst tape-up job I've ever seen in a wrestling match. Usually it's like strips of tape around the middle about this thick. This was like some cloth or something that was just kind of like there or stretched. It just looked awkward. Just it's like, okay, that's the big target. And I don't remember him being banged up from the week before. I'd have to look. He had that match with Teddy Hart. I might have missed something or forgotten something, but nonetheless, he was banged up here, was down most of the match, got a few signature moves in, but just was not enough to beat Low Key. Very interesting about Selena De La Renta. Like I said, a lot of these characters are new to me, but it's very interesting because she's very businesslike. She's very professional. A lot of female, how do I say this? A lot of female valet slash managers at ringside will be pounding on the apron, losing their mind, screaming. Like, okay, for example, like Vicky Guerrero. Perfect example of like the women just completely losing it at ringside. Selena De La Renta is complete opposite. She stands there and she's focused and she's got the look on her face like we're gonna get shit done today. And I mean, she's beautiful on top of it, but that's a very minor part of this. I don't think she doesn't look like the type to use her beauty as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't like try to seduce. At least I haven't seen this yet. If she did do it, I don't know about it. She doesn't use her beauty to like seduce the ref while someone else does something dirty. You know what I mean? You know, typical stuff from, oh, I don't know. Name one. I don't know. Can't think of one off the top of my head. I know I've seen it a million times though. Dana Brooke. No, I don't know. I kid. No, I'm not really comparing her to Dana Brooke. So yeah, very interesting to see Selena De La Renta just very focused, very quiet, not a lot of expression. And so it's a very different to see someone like this at ringside with someone. And then Loki came in and or she came in after Loki won, excuse me, and just raised his hand and was quiet. You know, she wasn't, you know, like screaming like I told you he would win, you know, just very non-typical of a heel valet. Very different, very professional, very focused to the point. I don't know how else to say it. You got to see it. So, but a very good episode, loaded. Can't wait for War Games coming up. I don't know when that's coming up. Somewhere within the next few weeks. I know the taping is early, like first week of September sometime. So somewhere within the next month, we're going to get the War Games. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a whole like 2-hour special. I don't know if they're going to break this up. I really don't know. Like I said, this is still all very new to me, but I dig it because it's like on an intimate setting. The crowd is decent. You know, they've taped down in Florida. They've taped up in New York. And so, yeah, I'm digging the product. And as long as it stays interesting and it's got a bunch of guys that I like in it, I'm going to keep watching it and I'm going to keep reviewing it. I just get it a day later because my only way of watching this is when it hits YouTube. So, but yeah, because of the weekend, like I said, busy with family stuff and the kids, I couldn't get this out. Like I tried to like do this on hashtag MLW Mondays is going to be my like regular thing. That's why I made the joke on Twitter saying hashtag MLW Mondays just a day late. So, so sorry about that, but hey, that's life, folks. It is what it is. So yeah, like I said, if you're new to the channel, the spare time, if you dig the product, go check out all the rest of the stuff. It's a lot of videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button. We're trying to get, see, we got the 500 and now we're going for 1,000, folks. We're trying to reach 1,000 by next summer so we can get the channel monetized again. Would be great. So if you dig the content, smash that sub button and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen because of all those algorithms and what other kind of rhythms they put out there that are just crazy. And I don't get all that shit.